Alright guys, utility for Overpass that you need to know, I'll go over. I'm gonna try not to show too much because I think we only need to know the stuff we need to know. I don't want to overdo it, so I'll show a few extra bits but not too much. So on B, what do you need to know? You need to know smoke for this bridge, smoke for heaven. They're the two smokes you need to know. I'll quickly show a couple of ways to throw them. So heaven, standard way to throw. Come into this corner. You see this triangle here, kind of shape of the train lines. You just go onto the top crossbar here onto the middle. This is how I aim it up. Other people do it different. You can pretty much do it anywhere in that triangle, I think. And that will land in the top nicely there. Another way to throw it, you can, if you don't want to come out so far, maybe, if you haven't got someone to hold that, you can come into this corner here. And you can aim at the bottom left brick and jump through. Just in the middle bottom of it. That will land in there. A little bit deeper, but it's still okay, I think. Maybe, I don't know. And one that I figured out, which is quite good, I think, so you don't have to make noise. If you're maybe coming through connector and you don't want to jump down and make noise, you come into the middle of this plank, wooden plank that you normally line up against, and you aim at this bottom left area of the bridge, kind of where the bridge meets up with this, or the top bit of the bridge meets up with the this fencing thing here, metal panel. It's pretty loose, you can throw it kind of just more or less in that area. And it's going to bounce into heaven like that. There's a few different ways to smoke bridge. So this is the best way in my opinion, which I actually only figured out today. Come into this corner, and then this kind of dark patch here, smoke on the top right where it meets with this wall. Normal throw. That's going to bounce out into there like so. There's a little bit of a gap below here, but not too bad. Another way is the way that Dylan showed me, which this is okay, but you've got to make sure if someone's going to smoke heaven, that's why it's good to know different smokes of things, because this is a heaven lineup here. This is the standard place to smoke heaven, so it's probably best to learn a different way to smoke bridge. But it's a nice one to have. Yeah, come into the corner here, and middle of this smokestack up to the, I think it was the first line on this, on the kind of train lines. Oh no, that's not train lines, is it? That's the electric lines. And that lands there. And then a third way to throw it that I know, and this goes with a little utility kind of pack that I know, not pack, but like a utility set that I like to throw. Come into this corner here, and then if you see these kind of floodlights, you line up with the bottom right of the floodlights and the top, and then that will end you up kind of above and to the right of them, and it's just a normal throw. And that's the worst out of all of them for where it lands. But that means you can then throw a full util set from here, where you can kind of like do a little step forward there to molly into barrels. Maybe throw it a little more. Yeah, you want to throw it a little more to the right, or maybe step a little further forward. So more step. There you go, and then you can throw a nade, either throw it into barrels or maybe to the left so it lands here on a guy coming out of barrels. And then you can throw a little flash there. That's why I like that one. So yeah, that's different ways to do those two smokes. That's the two that you definitely need. You don't need to learn all three. It's good to learn more than one way to throw them, but just a way to throw here and a way to throw here is very important. Flashing into monster, especially for a rush. If we're doing it, do not throw this. After me showing this video, if I see anyone throwing any utility through, well, any flashes through here, through this tunnel, I'm gonna rage, because that is the worst flash. Essentially, all it does is a good player, if they happen to be playing around this area and they see this flash, that's all that does is give them a flash, because they know 100% when that pops, there's going to be either people turn around here, or it's going to be like one player is thrown it who's not called anything, turning around, and 3 other players who are blind. He's just going to run out and he's going to put a full spray and take down 2 to 3 easy kills. So do not throw that ever. You want to come around this kind of area, throw over there like that. It's a far better flash. It's not gonna, you know, hit everywhere on the site. So if someone's playing like tucked in here, it's not gonna always hit them. If someone's like kind of in this area holding, or up here, you know, it's gonna hit them. If someone's peeked out here, it's gonna hit them. If they're tucked in, it's not. But we're pre-aiming this spot anyway, so it doesn't matter. That's a lot better. There's other flashes you can throw. That one is the big one. You can throw like, you could just throw like over like that as well. That's gonna be quite a good flash. If you're playing short a lot, you can, this here is this brace is the left of this pillar, so you can pretty much always throw flash, just a standing flash over there, and it's not going to hit your teammates on here. Okay, that one will. You're too far back there, but you know, if you're a bit further forward, flash there, flash there. If you're throwing this smoke here, you can flash over like that. Gonna take the flash there, and look, they all kind of land in this kind of area. And as your teammates are running out, it's not going to hit them. Usually you want to pair it with a little step forward as well. Step forward a little bit. It's going to land deeper. If you've got teammates running out short, it's not often a good one because it can hit them if it lands here, but that's where you want to finesse it and kind of give it a step forward, because it's going to land deeper, so it's not going to flash your teammates here. But if you get it wrong, it can. So they're risky flashes to throw, but they're really strong if you get them right. That's pretty much everything for B. On the T side that you need to know. Anything extra, what you could have. Oh, you want to know this molly possibly for short with the eye throw. This isn't the fastest way to throw it, but it's more consistent. Come into this shadow here. Aim on the bottom of the B here, but at the top of the paint. And then jump throw. And then there's also this flash that I pair, which is also a jump throw that I pair with it for Jamie. And there we go, that's going to land right. Mid-sight smoke. Good for a rush. B rush if you wanted to throw it. Just come onto this kind of barrel here and aim at the top of that. It's peasy, that's going to land there. And yeah, that's pretty much everything you really need for B on the T side. Most important lesson to take though is one smoke for here, one smoke for here, flash over the top, don't flash through here, yeah bloody idiots. Right, A site. 3 things you really need to know, which is from mid, smoking truck, smoking bin, and smoking bank. They're very easy smokes. So, bank, probably the hardest one. You come into this corner, it's not really hard, it's just a jump throw. You aim in between these 2 windows here, and then to the top of them as well, so just kind of where it crosses over there, and jump through. And that's going to land in bank perfectly. For the bins, come into the middle of this bench on top, and then aim at the woman's head. Bounces in nicely. And then finally for truck, you come to the back and you aim on the man's head. That's going to bounce into truck like so. There's plenty of other smokes you can learn as well, you know, crossing over here and this APC smoke, but they're the main ones. When you push in sight, if you're one of the furthest up guys, flashing over here is very useful because it's going to hit a lot of the sight, and as you're running up, you can kind of peek after it flashes. If your teammates are ahead of you, don't throw that flash, because I've done it to my teammates in the past. I didn't realise how devastating it is. It lands exactly where we're clearing. So only flash it if you're like the first or second guy and you kind of know that you're not going to get blinded by it. Otherwise, if you want to flash, maybe a flash over here can be useful, or a flash deep over long if no one's there. But don't be a knobhead like me and throw it probably over the right of the bush. That's not going to hit teammates, that's going to hit them. Maybe, I don't know. Never tried that. That's pretty much it there for the ones you need to know. Anything else? So, yeah, we've got those 3 smokes. They're the important ones. Other things. Bonus. You can learn to throw those 3 smokes from long. I have weird lineups. I'll show you them, but you might want to learn your own. It's really useful to know them from long because if you got like we're doing a late execute on A and like one of us is lurking on long, if they know these smokes and we've only got 3 smokes to hand, then they'll be able to, you know, not have to go through into just throw it from long, and we have 2 points of attack. So for truck, come into the middle. So you come into the middle of this kind of bush here. I line it up with this because that is pretty much in the middle. This weird kind of shape here that doesn't look right. Stones. And then this is where you need to learn your own lineups really. I use the top right of my smoke. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but there's a crack here. So I just tuck it into the like kind of the normal crack of the between these panels and these like concrete panels and this crack here on it. Kind of tuck it in. The lineup actually is the left of these windows on this building and up to these leaves, but because those leaves are always moving, the first kind of leaves on the tree, it means you're never going to get the same lineup, so it's best to get a consistent one for this, because otherwise it won't always land. So just normal throw, and that's going to land there. Make sure you pre-fire this, because people will want to tuck in to the get right position there. Okay, smoke for bins. So aim at the left of this pillar, follow it down, and you'll see it lines up with these cracks between the cobblestones here. So you just want to line up with that crack that you followed down and with this far side of this curb. And then we're going to aim here where these cross over, these 2 cracks here. And so to know where it is quickly, it's under the chair, under the right side of the chair here. And then a little bit to the left, and it's a jump throw. Want to kind of get used to that one, because if you don't aim it enough to the left, it's going to hit this. But you don't want to aim it too far to the left. And then this is probably the most difficult one that I've made up, but you'll probably be able to find better ones or easier ones if you look around. So I come to the left, top left of this curb, and then I aim. You look at these 2 dots, I don't know if you can see them. I aim at the top dot, and then to the left, over to the left side of this bottom dot. And then I'm going to walk, and once my crosshair hits the bottom marker, the bottom dot, I'm going to jump throw. And that's going to land there. It's not perfect, there's a gap here, but it does the trick. You can also do the similar flash that I showed earlier, just aim kind of at the top of these leaves. And that's going to flash over there. So again, teammates are up this far, it's probably going to hit them, so time it well. The molly that I throw, good clutch molly that lands here. Just come to the middle of this pillar and then aim. Don't know if you can see, but at the top of like this corner where these like slabs that are on the top of this pillar are. That's kind of top right of the first slab, and just normal throw. And that's gonna land there. And that's so what you need to know for here obviously is smoke for truck, smoke for bins, smoke for bank. That's it. They're the things you definitely from this area. They're the ones you do need to know. Anything else is a bonus, and you should learn so that you're not a silly twat. CT stuff. What do you need to know? If you're a B player, which Jamie and Sam know anyway, so it's not too big of a deal, but I'll show it anyway. Come into this door. 2 different ways to molly that. The standard way is to come into this door and aim on the right side of these like balconies here, I think. Yep. And the way I throw it, just because I like to delay it a bit, and I think this one lands a bit cleaner, is I come to the right side of this pillar here, kind of more or less in line with the crack in the floor there. And then I am in the middle of this the bottom right of this balcony, kind of in the middle, and then a little bit below the wall as well. That kind of bounces in there nicely. You can also smoke those from there. They're not too important. Outside of that, everything is kind of, you know, freehand. You're playing in this area, you want to molly that early if you can. Smoke it afterwards, kind of just keep it smoked off. You can flash over here. That's going to land over there. It's not great, but it could help a player. Smoking mid early, probably won't need to do it because Callum does like to peek it. So, but if we ever do, you aim. That's how I throw it. Aim at this kind of crack here, and it's just kind of a running throw. So I kind of like line up like that and throw. It kind of bounces into position, and that's everything I think I'm going to show. There's other bits and bobs, but they're the important bits. You know, there's some cool smokes and stuff, but they're things you can learn on your own. So important things to remember: smoke this, smoke this, smoke this, smoke this, smoke this. No, 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 no! Do not flash through here. Yes, 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 yes. Flash over the top. Cool. Done.